with Ours Garage. In this video, I'll be working on the Team Associated B74.2 Bag 7. So let's get started. All right, so we're gonna need our steering blocks so we can go ahead and get these off the parts tree. And so it looks like there's some supports to kind of help keep its shape. We need to remove these. So these are directional. This one has R written on it, and this one has L written on it. So just take note. So I'm gonna put the left side together first, and then I'll go back and do the right side. So we're gonna need our steering block, our steering arm. We're gonna need the axle crush tube, which is this aluminum piece. It's black. Actually, it's not aluminum, it's steel. We're also gonna need one thick and one thin caster hat bushing. We're gonna need an 8mm ball stud, which is the longer one in the bag. We're gonna need a M3 lock nut, 2 M3x8 button head cap screws. We're also gonna need one 5x10x4 bearing and one 5x12x4 bearing. Okay, so we can go ahead and install the bearings. The larger bearing is going to install on the outside, and make sure you place the rubber seal facing outward, just like so. Then we're going to place the axle crush tube in there, and then we're going to install the 5x10x4 bearing with the rubber seal facing outward, just like so. Next, we're going to install our steering block arm. It's going to install like so. And so the two M3x8 box head or button head screws are going to install in these two holes. You don't need to crank down on it. You're going into plastic, so once it's shouldered up, it's good. Next, we're gonna install the 8mm ball stud. It's just gonna go ahead and install from the top, same side as the screws. And we're gonna install the M3 lock nut from the bottom. So the thick caster hat bushing is going to install on the top, same side that the ball stud is facing, and the thin one is going to install on the bottom, just like so. So we're going to set this aside for a moment, and we're going to get our caster blocks ready. It's nice to see that these are aluminum, and there is a right one and a left one, so take note of that. The left one says 9L, the right one says 9R. So we have our caster block. We're gonna need the 2mm spacer. We're also going to need a 6mm ball stud, And then we're going to need a M3x12 button head cap screw and an M3x14 button head cap screw. And since this is going into aluminum, we're going to put some blue Loctite on it. So go ahead and put the 2mm spacer onto the ball stud, and then take note of the orientation. This side that has the bump on the bottom is going to be facing the steering block, and then this portion on the bottom that's flat that has the 9L will be facing the car itself. So we're going to install the ball stud on the inside hole. So the ball stud is installed on the hole that has the 9L written on it. Okay. So now we can install the caster block to the steering block. So it's basically going to slide in like so, and we're going to install the M3x14 millimeter button head screw with a little bit of Loctite from the side that has the ball studs. And we're going to install the M3x12 button head screw from the bottom with some blue Loctite. And everything moves nice and free. So let me go ahead and do the other one, and then we can move forward. All right, so both sides are ready. Got the right side and the left side. Now we can prepare our axles to install. So we're going to need a set for each side. So we're going to need the CVA bone, 74mm. We're going to need the CVA barrel. We're going to need the CVA axle. We're going to need 2 pins, one for the axle and one for the wheel hex. We're going to need the CVA retainer. We're also going to need our wheel hexes. And along with the wheel hexes, we're going to need the wheel hex screw. So we're going to need some black grease. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of black grease on the CVA barrel. Just a nice little coat. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to install the CVA barrel. Take note of the hole that's in the barrel. There we go. And we're going to install it into the CVA bone. And we want to be able to see that hole, just like so. So next what we're going to do is we're going to take the CVA axle and line up the hole in the axle with the hole in the CVA barrel. And then we're going to put this pin through, just like so. And then to hold it all together, we're going to take the CVA retainer and slide it over, just like so. Kind of surprised they do that, since most companies will actually just use the bearing itself to capture that pin. So now what we're going to do is we're going to install the CV axle through the bearings in the steering block, just like so. And then we're going to install our pin and wheel hex. And this is the 5mm wheel hex that came included with the kit. Okay. So what I'm doing is actually pulling on the axle to make sure that it's fully seated. And then I'm gonna go ahead and install the wheel hex screw. It is going into metal, but because it's so small, I'd rather not put Loctite on it in case it wants to strip coming out if it holds too tightly. So I'm just gonna tighten down without Loctite. And it shouldn't back out, and if it decides to back out, it should be captured by the wheel itself, so I'm not too concerned. But that's one side. Let's go ahead and do the other. Okay. Now the right side is done, left side is done. We can grab our chassis and we can install this assembly. Okay. Right side, left side, right side, left side. We're gonna need our hinge pins, and we're gonna need 2 M3x3 set screws. And we will be installing the set screws into aluminum, so we will be needing some blue Loctite. And so on the bottom of the caster block, there's a spot for us to install the set screw. And take note, because the set screw is going to go and sit on this part of the hinge pin, so the hinge pin can't come out. So it gives a note to line up the groove in the hinge pin with the set screw, but it doesn't quite show which orientation, if the groove should be facing the front of the vehicle or the rear of the vehicle. So let's take a look. It looks like the groove should probably be facing the rear of the vehicle. So let's go ahead and install. So we're gonna slide the hinge pin through the control arm. And then we're gonna slide it through the caster block, just like so. Make sure it's flush on both ends in the control arm, and then we can install our set screw with a little bit of blue Loctite. And just confirming, it's going to be hard to see on camera, but I do see the groove through the hole, so I did install it correctly. And there we go. And I'm just going to wipe off any excess Loctite. All right, so that's one side done. Go ahead and do the other side. Again, the groove is going to be on the back side. And there we go. So that concludes bag 7. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. No major issues to report. Everything went together smoothly. Fit and finish is very nice. Please like and subscribe if you found this helpful. Leave any comments down below if you had any issues. I'll try my best to help you out if I can. Stay tuned for the next video where I tackle bag 8. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.